Today I'm going to show you that you don't need a real camera to be a real photographer, and that your iPhone is more than enough nowadays. And it doesn't matter if you do street photography, if you take portraits or whatever else. Let's get into it. I'm going to show you two photos, one that I took with this iPhone right here and one with a real camera. Obviously not with this one, but you get what I mean. And you're going to have to decide for yourself which you think is objectively better and more professional. Alright, picture number one and picture number two. Out of those two photos, which do you think was the iPhone shot and which was the one shot with the A7 III? Whichever you like more, that is up to you, but it's hard to distinguish which one was shot on a real camera. Both are sharp for the eye and more than enough for web context posts, and both have nice colors and a finished look to it. And you can thank Apple for that. Its Pro RAW photo capabilities enables that for us photographers and also for the everyday person. Okay, now I'm going to tell you which photo was which. The left one was shot on the A7 III and the right one was shot on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So not even the newest iPhone, not even the sharpest photos you can get with iPhone today, but more than enough for web context and more than enough to make you having to decide which is which. Just going back 5 years, I don't think I would be able to do this video and to compare these two even. But today, as you can see, you're watching this video on my channel. And trust me guys, it's not always about having the most amount of megapixel possibles on a camera. You see, the reason that I'm making this video is because I want to elaborate on something that not many people talk about. And that is the ease of use of the phone. Having this Pro RAW photo capability really enables me to just leave my camera at home. Not always having to take it with me makes it very, very comfortable for me to just take my phone out, swipe to the right and just take pictures here and there. It's so convenient that I wouldn't trade it for any megapixel count on the world. And of course, with the RAW capabilities, we can edit these pictures in post-production just like we can on a real camera, and that's something we couldn't do before. 5 years ago, we couldn't really do that. Now we can, and that really is one reason why I won't get a new camera, because the one in my pocket is always going to be the best, because it's always with me. And of course guys, often you're going to want to have the bigger sensor, the more megapixel on the camera. You're going to want to have the nice color accuracy and feel that some cameras have to it. You're going to miss the great range of lens choices on specific cameras. And yes, you are going to miss some of this depth that some of these cameras have, but oftentimes you won't care about that. Oftentimes you're just going to want to have a camera, and in those times there's nothing better than the iPhone in my opinion. And its biggest deciding factor, the ability to edit in RAW, the iPhone already has. And the newer iPhones even have a 48 megapixel sensor, which gives you great range to crop and post and just to have very sharp photos. And that's more than my A7 III has. That's a professional camera that costs more than the phone, and that's a camera that I've had for years. And one thing that I really want to note is that these cameras come with a big and heavy price attached to it, and that's the weight of the camera and the lenses. How many times did you leave your camera at home even though you wanted to take great photos? I bet it happened a lot of times to you. And that's why the iPhone is such an amazing piece of technology for me. It's not only my phone, but it also replaced my camera in so many ways. Alright, but we are going to move on because I know you guys want to see more photos and you guys want to see the portrait photos that I took with the iPhone. But let's take a look at two more street photos. Alright, left one, right one. Which is which? You have a couple seconds to decide. The left one is the iPhone photo and the right one is with a real camera. It's amazing to see that the camera doesn't really matter if it's in the right professional hands. And even though I'm not using the newest of the new iPhones, it's amazing to see how far this 12 megapixel sensor has come. The 12 megapixels paired with the software processing and the Pro RAW photo capabilities is more than enough. No matter if you do street photography, portraits, or I'm sure whatever else. And I know the camera doesn't perform as good in low light as these big full frame cameras, but guys, come on. This camera comes attached to a phone and costs only about 1,000 euros, whilst the camera with a full frame sensor can cost up to 3,000 euros and above. A mid-range full frame camera would cost about 2,000 euros. If you buy a used one or a very old one, you can get it for less. But come on guys, you have a whole phone attached to your camera, and I think that is pretty nice. And also guys, you have to be a bit more critical. Your lens and camera setup surely costs more than this phone, and I would expect it to perform better in low light or in some other areas. But either way, let's compare two more portraits together. Alright, left one, right one. Which is which? Giving you a bit more time for this one. Left one is the iPhone, right one is the camera. If you want to know the result of these two photos, which is which, check the description down below. Alright, I really wonder if you guys have got every single photo right. Let me know down below in the comments. But let me conclude this video. Alright, in conclusion, what do I think iPhone versus real camera photography. What do I think is better? I picked up photography 5 years ago and have been doing it for quite some time, especially in the last 2 years. I picked out the A6000 from Sony as my first camera and have been photographing with the iPhone 13 Pro Max since it came out. And this really changed the game. I haven't been taking too many iPhone photos. I've been taking a couple photos with the iPhone 12 Pro from my girlfriend, but that's just about it. And I've been using the A7 III for years professionally, and I can only speak good about the iPhone and its Pro RAW photo capabilities. And this phone has enabled me to let my camera at home and has even made me money, and also has spared me of many days having to carry around the big fat camera in my pockets, to maybe even having to take some extra bag or anything to carry it. And I absolutely love it, and I would not trade it for any other camera, especially because of its ergonomics. It's been really fun to use and has always kept me photographing, even on those days where you don't really want to pick up a camera. And one more question I want to answer today is, does it replace my camera? And while many other photographers say that a phone will never replace their cameras, and even if that's true for them, it's not true for me. This iPhone right here has almost completely replaced my A7 III in most of my photography. And you can see it in my work. My girlfriend and I have replaced the A7 III, and most of our photography has transitioned to being shot on this phone right here. And that's because of all the advantages that we talked about in this video. And a big reason why that happened is because this phone is just much more fun than having to carry around a big camera. I know I've said it quite a few times, but go check out my POV photography. I did it once with the A7 III and once with the iPhone. And you can see for yourself which was more fun to me. Spoiler, it was the iPhone POV photography. All these phone companies and of course Apple always improving the cameras, adding new capabilities. I know for a fact that I'm going to continue to use my phone more and more than my camera. The one reason I'm not selling my A7 III is because sometimes I want to have the bigger lens availability, the greater depth of the sensor, and all the other things we've talked about. But listen guys, it's great to have both choices. And also, one note, professionally, people don't like paying you to take great photos with your phone. People have just not came to the idea that this works as well. And even though they see my work, they don't like me showing up with only my phone. It doesn't look professionally to them, and people often want a real professional experience. So that's why I'm not going to sell my camera and keep using it here and there. And as I said, it's great to have all options. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something, maybe you've got some new inspiration. Either way, I hope you also enjoyed the studio space right here. It's pretty fun. I'm going to continue using it. Let me know down in the comments how you like it. See you guys. Talk to you guys in the next one.